This video contains subject matter that may be offensive and disturbing to some people. If you are the type to require a warning throughout a video or show, let this message serve as your warning. This channel discusses the harsh reality of true crime. If this warning is not sufficient for you, consider a different genre and unsubscribe from my channel immediately. What the heck? What's going on, freaks? Hello, Alifair, Sarita, Tina Susser, Walker Homestead, Mag, Regina Carter, Dom404 Gamer, Jen H, Sarita, the Velvet Army, Fisher, Alien. Yeah, there we go. Alright, well, here we go. We're going to be doing some missing person cases tonight. You know, remember those other cases out there that also need somebody to talk about them every once in a while? Yeah. Thanks for saying hi. Hey, I say hi sometimes. I just do a generic hello, right? Yeah. Hey, thank you, Cindy Leon. And thanks to Linda Howell, she sent me a PayPal earlier. So. And don't forget PayPal out there, everybody. That gives you extra chances at the notebook at the end. Just a reminder. It's also better for everything because they don't take 30% like YouTube does. Let's see. YouTube is just highway robbery. It's crazy. I mean, it's a good platform. Makes it easy for everybody, but I hope they solve the Dylan rounds. I don't know. Yeah, it'd be great to solve it. It's just, yeah, people are still milking the shit out of that one over and over again. Yeah, it's just way too many people just covering it over and over and over again for views and likes. It's a little bit similar to that sensationalistic case with the Marine and the wife. It's all just tabloid crap. It works though, it gets a lot of people to watch your show, but yeah, I'm not gonna sell my soul to do that. Thank you, Mag. How's it going, Mag? That's not her real name, by the way. What is it, though? What is it really? It's actually pretty close. I mean, her name's popped up on the screen before. So. But sometimes it's hard to manage that. Freak! I like to see Stacy in here. She's got the dang tattoo and everything. Where is she? Yeah, guess you'll have to keep on guessing, WNC Granny. You'll have to keep on guessing. Alright, well, let me get this looping. It's not looping. Alright, so here we go. We got this. I think this is maybe the 10-year anniversary of Evansdale murder. So I thought I'd just read this statement out here by the Iowa. Looks like it might be like their police department. Not really sure exactly. It is coming out from public safety. So this is for the Evansdale murders with Lyric and Elizabeth. We've gone over multiple times. I think a long time ago I even had Drew on. Thank you, Gwendolyn B. Yeah, so it says it was 10 years ago today that cousins 10-year-old Lyric Cook Morrissey and 8-year-old Elizabeth Collins went out for a bike ride in Evansdale.
But I wanted to let you know how I got a promotion at work and a pay raise. I'll try to donate as I can.
Oh, well, good for you, Gwendolyn B. Good for me, too! Anyways, thank you. Alright. So you must have got an A+ on what you were doing. Promotion and a raise? You know, you've been getting the A minuses. You got an A one time, I think. But yeah. It was 10 years ago today that cousins 10-year-old Lyric Cook Morrissey and 8-year-old Elizabeth Collins went out for a bike ride in Evansdale, Iowa, and never returned. I mean, we've gone over it. You can go watch the videos with the maps and everything. They never returned to their families. 5 months later, on December 5th, after hunters had actually been asked to look for bodies when they're hunting, on December 5th, 2012, hunters in the Seven Bridge Wildlife Area of rural Bremer County came across 2 bodies, which were eventually identified as Elizabeth and Lyric, found approximately 25 miles from the Black Hawk County location where they originally went missing. No one has yet been charged or arrested for these crimes. However, the investigation into the girls' deaths continues 1 decade later out of dogged determination to understand the truth of what happened to Lyric and Elizabeth. Local, state, and federal investigators have worked together to solve this case since that time. As the case progressed into long-term investigation, the investigative team adapted and readjusted as well to include investigators with the Bremer County Sheriff's Office, the Iowa Division of Criminal Investigation, and the FBI. Part of the investigation team still includes agents who were part of the original investigation when it began in July of 2012. Yeah. As part of this team, intelligence analysts with the Federal Bureau of Investigation Regional Office in Omaha, Nebraska, and Iowa Department of Public Safety Division of Intelligence in Des Moines, Iowa, were also provided to leverage their analytical capabilities. I wonder if they're doing like that, you know, the cell phone data dump situation where they can determine, you know, where there was movement and, you know, I don't know what the situation with cell phones in 2012 is. Let's see, for a large amount of data and evidence that this case has generated. Wow. So they were, you know, they came back. They've been working this whole time, and now they've included this, you know, using their leverage, their analytical capabilities for the large amount of data and evidence that this case has generated. As the investigation continues into the anniversary date, the investigative team wishes to acknowledge the significance of this date to the families of Lyric and Elizabeth, the local Cedar Valley community, and the state of Iowa. The investigative teams goal continues to be bringing about justice for the families of Lyric and Elizabeth, and their strategy in bringing about this justice involves regularly evaluating the historical information that is already contained in the comprehensive investigative case file, while at the same time evaluating any new information as it comes in. To date, there have been nearly 2,000 leads in the investigation, including 117 tips provided by the involved public in the past 10 months. Every tip that has come in established, I hope that isn't like these Delphi people sending in millions of tips over and over. It has nothing to do with anything. Every tip that comes in into the established Our Missing, what is it, Iowa Girls at dps.state.ia.us email address is reviewed by the investigative team and evaluated on its relevance to the case facts to determine whether or not resources, i.e. investigators performing interviews, information analysis, should be allocated for follow-up. Oops. The investigative team hopes that Iowans will continue to stand with the families of Lyric and Elizabeth, the Cedar Valley community, and the investigative team until the truth is made known. The investigative team asks anyone who wants to report information about the Evansdale murders can direct it to Our Missing Iowa Girls at dps.state.ia.us. So again, that's Our Missing Iowa Girls at dps.state.ia.us. Hey, thank you very much, Alley Cake. Very generous. Thank you very much. And I appreciate everybody who helps out this channel, and that's the charities. I know you guys work hard. You work hard to make your money too, just like everybody else. So I really appreciate it. It's not easy, especially since the inflation. I mean, gas prices seem to be going down, but inflation not. I don't know if what's going on here, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, so maybe I'll just quickly, we'll go over there really quick. There we go. And I finally got back my old computer, and the only way to get to work was to put a new motherboard in and a new chip set, and now it's like, it's not as good as the one I got, but it's pretty good, and I didn't even know you could just convert it like that. But anyways, we'll probably send it off to a relative that could use it. Yeah, hold on. Okay, so I think this is how it worked. Yeah, both the girls are right here. And it was right around 12:23 actually. They get on their bikes, and there's actually video of them driving by their bikes like this. Then they were seen on a bike right around in this area at around 12:30. It makes sense. It doesn't take that long to get there. And then, there's some people that said they saw a white van parked over here. And then there's a fence that goes right along here, and their bikes were found there, purse, cell phone, and those were found at 5 p.m. So they were probably there much earlier than that, but they were found at 5 p.m. And they just disappeared off the face of the earth. Just poof, gone. And, people were looking for them. They looked throughout the entire lake. They looked everywhere. And then there was even a few news articles telling hunters to be looking out for bodies, which is, I'm telling you, they need to do that with mushroom hunters, for sure. And then 5 months later, Apparently the killer obviously drove down this road right here, just like this, and then would have parked right exactly where I have those pins there. You know, right in this area. There's a parking. Let's just pick a different time. See if there's a better. You know, you can see it kind of in there, but there's a parking spot. Let's see how far it goes back. 2009. Anything in 12? No, it skips that time. So 2015, you can park right there, and then both their bodies were right over here. Probably, you know, they weren't too far apart. You know, that's why there's a lot of people that try to compare it to the Delphi case. I mean, there are similarities, right? The girls were forced to go somewhere. This case, they were forced to get into a vehicle. I always thought it was interesting how there's tracks right here. I mean, you can actually, literally, it's such a good photograph, satellite image, that you can see tracks. I mean, was there somebody out there, you know, revisiting their crime scene, or is that a different thing? Because maybe those aren't even human tracks because they're in such a perfectly straight line. I don't know if that's what that is, but it could be an animal. Yeah, so that's where their bodies were found. And, you know, it's near a stream. The woods look similar to Delphi. It's also near a stream. You know, so there's things that are similar, and two victims, both female. And they have communicated, but they just, you know, there's no way to know right now if they're connected or not. Hey, cool, Kate. You were one of the ones that got gifted. All right. Somebody showed up with the gifted membership. Very cool. Yeah. I don't know how they choose them, but very cool, very cool. I think, who were the ones that did that? LM, Zozo, and, let's see, who was the third? There was a third person that did that. Was that Charisma or something? Or I don't know, I'm trying to remember. I'm getting old. It's hard to remember stuff. Anybody? Oh, was it Amber? No, I don't know. Was it? Oh, Regina. There you go. There you go. Regina Carter. There you go. So, very cool. Very nice of you guys. There you go. And then, by the way, if you send in 25 on PayPal, I'll send you a notebook. So there you go. Do you want one, Nancy? Being Nancy, you want one? I'm going to put it in there. Hold on. You get a notebook anyways, and you get into the spin, so that's always good. Yeah, I was just looking at it again. There's this one channel that keeps attacking Kelsey over and over and over again. It's horrendous. There's two of them actually. Hey, thank you.
Hi Gray, and all I'd get in trouble for saying hi to. Smiley face, winking face.
Chewbacca?
I'll be Chewbacca if you want me to be.
Gray, what is your theory about what happened with Lyric and Elizabeth?
My theory on that one is that they were just, just playing, like kids do. They just were going out of park. I mean, it's just similar to, that's why it's similar to Abby and Libby. I think when they got to the lake, they were probably doing, somebody got them to get off their bikes, maybe lured them somewhere, and poof, they're gone. Like, hey, I mean, it could be like the classic since they're so young, you could just have said, oh, I've got this, this really cute puppy. I'm looking for another one, but come check out these one. Oh, yeah, let me go look. They go over there and poof, they're gone because their bikes were somewhere else. But they were also, where their bikes were in a location where it was kind of secluded even from the road, if I remember right. So where the hell was that? Like it was right here. And I think somebody even went and did street view right on. Yeah, look at that. So that's crazy. Somebody did 360-degree camera. So this is right where the bikes were. I mean, right here. It's crazy. So, and so notice how you can't see from the road, and you can't see this way, but you can definitely see if anybody's coming. So there we go again. It's very similar to the Delphi case like that. I don't know if they're related or not, but you can see right there, right? I mean, you mean the freak family community, right, Kate? Because the overall community, whew, I don't know about that. Anyways, here we go. So that's where it was. So you could see definitely somebody coming. So like, let's say you walked from this way. There was people that said that there was a van over here. And so what if the person walked this way and they knew that there was nobody this direction? So in this area, you could tell if anybody was coming. And then you kind of, I mean, hell, maybe you used a gun in that one too. You know, we just don't know. It's interesting that this person took a 3D image every few feet right here. So he could actually go right here and turn around. And that's kind of what it looks like, the entrance to that area. See? And then let's see what would happen if you turn around. You can kind of see like, hey, nobody's at the park. Nobody's at the park. I don't know. You know, it's just hard to say. But the bikes were found right here in this area. Right, well, actually right there. That's where the fence started back then, but now it's a full fence. So, but right back here is where the bikes were. See how there's a wooded area there? You wouldn't do the bikes right here. It's right there. Notice how it's right in a place. Like you could have somebody just standing around waiting for two young people to come by and, you know, but the reason, though, it sort of seems like it's not related to Delphi now is because the Delphi case was a catfishing event, right? So, hey, thank you, WNC Granny and Lane S up there. Missed that. I was looking at something. Thank you very much. So the Delphi case now seems to have a catfishing angle where I doubt there was one in this one. They seem to be just peddling around, but do we... Yeah, and that's actually before Snapchat and all that stuff, 2012, so... I think anyways. What do you guys think? I mean, there are definitely some similarities, but, you know, there's a lot of psychos out there, for sure. Let's see what it looks like right over here. Yeah. There it is. I guess the fence does start about right there. Is that right? There you go. Yep. So right here. Now I don't know if it was like that before. But it seems like right after you get around this corner is where the bikes were. So you're in the woods, right? Yeah, right in this area, right here. So that's hidden from everybody. The only way out is this way. Wow, look at that. There was actually some kids walking on there. So anyways, I hope that one gets solved one of these days. Man, they really should see if they could find some DNA somehow on the bones, except they were found so late and decomposed and the elements out there. Start listening. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, just wrong place, wrong time. That's what I always thought about the Delphi case, but that one's changed a little bit there, hasn't it? Okay, well that's the update. That was just it's his 10-year anniversary on that case, and that's how simple the case is. There isn't really a ton of information that the public knows, other than, there are some issues with the parents of, I think it's I may be Lyric's parents, I think. Yeah. Drew Collins is the father. So Lyric Cook, I think there's some issues where, there's some drugs involved, things like that, but I don't know. That doesn't seem related to me at all. Seems like they were just riding their bikes around randomly and some psycho showed up. Yeah, I mean they're younger. One was like 11 though, right? Let me see if I can remember. Maybe it was like 10. Hold on. Oh, yeah, it was 10-year-old Lyric Lyric was 8 and let's see. I thought she was that cousin's 10-year-old Lyric Cook. Oh yeah, that's right. So Lyric Cook was 10 and Elizabeth Collins was 8. So 10 is a little bit young to be. No, it's 8 and 10. Yeah. Almost there, Cindy. I thought it was 11 too, though. But I mean, if somebody was one day shy of being 11, would you say 11? It's like, I'm not sure. I'm going to do an update on the Kyle Moorman case. So that's the vehicle right there after they pulled it out of the water. Yeah, that's not really what that was just a ridiculous story, Alifair, to put out there. It's like, let's use this as an example of. No, what the main story is that it was another illegal alien who is the one that assaulted the 10-year-old. A person that shouldn't even have been here to begin with to have done that. That's the biggest problem on that story. And the doctor who put it out there should lose her license because she put out information on, HIPAA violation. Right? You guys agree with that? Like, why is that even out there? I mean, it's ridiculous. Yeah. The crew? What do you mean, the crew? I don't know what that means. Okay. So here's the document put out there by the Indiana State Police on the, just where they're at here and and all the steps that they took. So do you guys want me to go through this, or? Yeah, let me know. Because after that, I'm going to get on to the old missing person cases from a long time ago. No, the parents didn't consent for her to put it out there. They didn't do it. That's why she's in trouble. It was a political move. You think the parents would consent to have their name, your 10-year-old child, out in the public as being raped by, I don't think so. Okay, this update is intended to provide additional details regarding the missing persons investigation involving Kyle Moorman. Kyle Moorman II, Kyannah Holland. So all their names have KY in them, like it's Kyle Moorman, Kyle Moorman II, and then Kyannah Holland and Kyran Holland. Probably Kyran, probably, I would imagine. It is also intended to answer some of the questions IMPD, Indiana Metropolitan Police Department, has received from the community about the investigation. With respect to... by the way, before we get to that, have you guys seen the surveillance footage in the Vivaldi... I think it's Vivaldi shooting? Man, I've never... you know, it makes you so angry. It just popped into my head right there. I was thinking about how this is sort of like trying to explain away something. When the idiot... One of the... Listen to this, you guys. One of the officers, amongst the hail of bullets, thought he should avoid getting COVID and wash his hand with sanitizer that was on a wall. Like, I don't even know what the hell to even make of that. What was that guy doing? That was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life. Hold on, let me hold on a second. Let me go. I might actually have from the other night. I think I had it and I never got to it. So hold on a second. Was it yesterday? Did I have it in the folder and just never made it? Yeah, I do. Okay, let's take a look at this. You guys want to see this or not? I mean, it's not like, yay, we gotta go watch this, but I mean, it's...
Breaking tonight, a new report examining the shooting at Robb Elementary School in Uvalde on May 24th, and the law enforcement response to that indicates officers missed multiple chances to slow the gunman and possibly save lives, more than we thought before. Senior correspondent Casey Stiegel has new details tonight from Dallas. Good evening, Casey.
Here we go.
Right, good evening. This new report was released by ALERT, or the Advanced Law Enforcement Rapid Response Training at Texas State University. The 26-page document says that cops missed 3 chances to slow the shooter. Number 1, an officer with a rifle had a clear shot of the suspect before he even went inside the school, but asked for permission to shoot and waited. Number 2 involved a cop driving through the school parking lot at a high rate of speed, which apparently diverted a different officer's attention away from the suspect.
Yeah, I mean, everything got screwed up. Ridiculous. So I guess that's him right there, right? He crashes his car. Then later, I don't know what these guys are, but look at these Keystone Cops. I mean, the guy fell over somehow, and you know. So this is 11:30. So there's somebody shooting at the school from the parking lot at that point. The teacher's trying to get everybody help. Yeah, I mean, every one of those police officers should resign because that's not what you signed up to do, and you failed. So here's this guy. Look at him. Look at him just casually walking in. Look at right around about here how he just kind of, yeah, you know, let me wipe my hair, hanging the gun down. It's crazy. And then look at this teacher over here, or kid actually, a student sees him, and he goes, oh my God, and he goes running, you know. And they cut a lot of the time out of this video. So look at it. First they were doing the right thing. Look at these guys. They went running right down there. They made it all the way to the door. I mean, they were right there. They made it all the way down there. Apparently, one of these officers' wife was in there, and he was texting her. She's one of the teachers that got killed, and he wasn't allowed to go help. Everything is so whacked out in this one. It's just... Hey, Half Rudder, how's it going? Haven't seen you in a while. So now it's 11:36 right now. And they actually edited out all the kids yelling and screaming and things. See, look at them, they ran. Oh my God, ooh, let me get out of here. Look at this guy with a freaking shield and helmet. You don't think you can just get right in there? So I guess that's the same time as this one. So he's over there just shooting people. Look at all of these adults up here just doing nothing. So now we're at 12:21. We're looking at 47 minutes later or whatever. You know, 45 minutes. Look at this guy right here. Look at this guy. Yeah, let me get some hand sanitizer. Hurry up really quick. Let me get some of that. Can anybody even explain this guy here? So there he is right there. He's up there, same shot. Okay, yeah, you guys got it all taken care of. Let me get some hand sanitizer. Let me get my... I forgot that they actually killed him in this one. I was thinking that they arrested him. What a mess. Look at all these adults that signed up and they didn't do shit. I mean, I don't think all of them are like that. I think some of them were... You know, it's just whoever the leadership was there is absolutely. You know what would have worked better if you would just would allowed the parents who wanted to go in and save their kids. They probably would have done a hell of a lot better job because they would have busted through any damn door.
Yeah, how much of a
hand them a gun for God's sake.
You know,
here's what I would do: give the guns to all the parents who want to rush in and save them. If you're not going to do it. Because they would have went right through those doors and just taken care of business. And if they got killed, they would have got killed, but they wanted to save their children. You didn't do a damn thing for them. Now, I wish I was more supportive here. And I think it's mainly the leadership's fault, because if you have a boss telling you can't do something, you know, but they made it all the way down there. You just needed somebody to just take charge and do it, you know. I don't know. It's such a ridiculous scenario. It's embarrassing. Man, it just kind of shows you kind of where we're at. You think that, you look at all the people that stormed Normandy. And you get out of that boat and bullets are already hitting the door. You get in and then you're walking there, you're just sitting ducks. And they just kept on trucking along. Now you've got guys with body armor, shields, machine guns, and you're not even going to go save some little kid that's stuck in a classroom. You know, a whole bunch of kids being assaulted by a guy with an AR-15, okay? I don't know. It makes me really angry. I feel like we've just kind of went backwards a little bit. Yeah, that whole hand sanitizer, what do you guys think of that? I mean, just honest to God. I mean, I don't even know what reason you would ever have. Maybe a nervousness type of thing where, you know... A little sense of normalcy. Let me get some hand sanitizer. I don't know, man. God. Yeah, well, you know, a lot of the way we are is because we start, you know, there's a lot of stuff that goes on that sort of wussifies America. And, you know, so you get these situations where... You know, I mean, here's another thing, too. If you're a police officer nowadays, let's say in a different situation, I think when there's a school attack, you know, there's no regulations at that point, okay? But, like, when you're out in the real world and you got somebody attacking you and then you're sort of, like, taught, well, you can't really, you got to wait for them to shoot you and then you got to there's all these regulations. It really sucks. Okay, so we need to get back to a little bit more of sort of the traditional, you know, I don't know. You know, every time I talk about stuff like this, it always ends up being sort of a political conversation. So I'm not going to do it. All right. So if you guys want to keep going down this crappy wussification route, then that's what we'll do. But I'm not. I don't support it at all. Okay. Good. Look at this. You had 20-something adults, and somehow, you know, I mean, it is scary. You're getting shot at, but you signed up for it. You know? Yeah, no, that's exactly right. I mean, I love police officers, and I love, you know, law enforcement, military people. They're the greatest. Okay? But these people here didn't perform like the greatest. They performed like a nightmare scenario where, you know when we all live and we are all thinking to ourselves, thank God there's police out there. But could you imagine if like those same police officers were the ones that were maybe going to come to your house and help you out? God, unbelievable. No, there's nothing fishy about it at all. It's just that's how it is now. Is there somebody out the door? Oh. Yeah, that's what I heard. Yeah. So the thing is, when you start trying to demasculate men and do all these different things, you end up with sort of these people that aren't quite the way it used to be, you know. You know, it's just, it's a weird, we're in a weird place right now. I know. Yeah, when you see the videos, right, Mag, it's crazy. It's like you look at it and just go, what? A guy's getting hand sanitizer? It's actually worse when you watch it. They were right there. They were right there within 2 minutes. They were right there at the scene. And when they got shot at, they all ran away. Then they hid in the hallway for, what is it?
It's a federal donut from Philadelphia.
Oh, somebody sent me a donut. Well, open it up. Who sent me a donut out there? Somebody sent me a donut. I don't know. Yeah, hold on a second. I gotta go look. Just a second. Yeah, sorry about that. I mean, a weird moment of levity during a bunch of crap, but yeah. So, Alina Louise sent me some donuts. It's the Lance Gray Hughes. That's my name, everybody. Ooh, super sleuthy. Gray, I love your Abby and Libby T-shirt. I wanted to use your address for sweetness. Oh yeah, when I was wearing the T-shirt, yeah. I'm gonna have to eat one of these though. It's like they look pretty good. Look at that. Oh wait, you can't see it. Hold on. Ooh. Hell yeah. No, it's easy to get my address out there. It's always easy. Yep. Yeah. I'm sure it is, Mag. I haven't eaten one yet, but here, let me I got to try a little bit. Well, it was in an actual package from a place called Gold Belly. Yeah. And it's got all kinds of like stuff with the cards, you know, right here and everything. See? Seems pretty legit. It's not like they're just donuts stuck in a bag or something. I mean, they're from a place called Gold Belly Food or something. Are you out there? Hold on. Alina Lewis. Yeah, it must be. Oh, you've used them before? Yeah. Yeah, definitely. It was in a nice, like a big silver package thing. FedEx. Chocolate laxative. You guys are so cynical. Man. You're even more cynical than I am. Or I'll be back in just. No, sorry about that. Had to take some bites. Mm-mm. No, come on, Charisma. Jeez. They're pretty good. I think it is an attempt to hurt me, though, because I'm going to eat so many, I'll probably gain like 25 pounds just like that, yeah. Pretty good. Pretty good. I have to say. Well, you don't like them, Paulette? Come on. Or do you want one now? Is that what your problem is? That's pretty good. I have to say. Yeah, it said gluten-filled donut. It didn't even... Yeah, it was just that. Now, you got pizzas from the same place? Cool. So anyways, I thought it was just ridiculous what went on at that school. You know? I mean, what was going on in the other 40 minutes that we don't get to see? Just more hand-wringing and... Wow. Yeah. 100% gluten. Yeah, that was very cool. Yeah, the freaks send me stuff, not every day or something, but, you know, got a bunch of artwork up there. You see it on the screen. Why do I need to stay on the screen, Paulette? What is that? What do you mean? No, look at, like, it's a regular pack, you know, it's like real stuff. You know, these all come in there. The package is over there. Huh? I don't get it. Yeah, what was he doing with the hand sanitizer? God. It's such a casual thing to be doing.
Huh?
Hey, thank you, the Velvet Army, on PayPal. I don't know what he was doing. All right, I'm going to go over this. The update on the Kyle Moorman case. I don't know. I don't want to. I'm not going to sleuth out what happened in that case. I don't think there was any sort of. You know, everyone does the false flag operation. It was all intentional. No, it wasn't. Okay. That's right. And Emily's sending another painting. See. All right, so this says, this update is intended to provide additional... I better put my face on the screen, just in case. Oh, you thought like when I was eating something that I took off? I do have a little bit of a sugar buzz going on. That's for sure. Okay, this update is intended to provide additional details regarding the missing persons investigation involving Kyle Moorman II, Kyannah Holland, and Kyran Holland. It also intended to answer some of the questions IMPD has received with respect to determine which bodies of water to investigate with the dive team and when to utilize the dive teams. IMPD had conflicting information regarding the last known location of phone pings for Kyle Moorman. Credible information regarding cell phone pings was not received until the afternoon or early evening on Tuesday, July 12th. That was yesterday. At that time, IMPD Missing Persons Detective coordinated with Department of Natural Resources and the Indiana Fire Department to have teams utilize sonar technology to search 2 bodies of water. Dive teams have limitations on when they will go into the water. These searches were scheduled for the morning of Wednesday, July 13th, when daylight would likely be available throughout the search process. Let's see, what are you guys saying there? Hey. All right, regarding a baby bottle and clothing located near 2900 Bluff Road, it was unclear if those items belonged to the Moorman family. Below, you will find a timeline on the steps of the missing person detectives took once a report was filed. So on July 9th, Kyle Moorman, all of them, all the people mentioned, approximately 11 p.m., they had no contact since the night before. That family member advised that Kyle was driving a black 2009 Saab with an unknown paper temporary plate. Kyle told that family member he was going to go fishing with the children at the Woodwood Farm subdivision. And then on the 10th, at 9 a.m., detectives went to the area of Wildwood Estates in the 7700 block of Southeastern Avenue to search the retention ponds around the housing area. This was based off the original missing person report. Upon their arrival, detectives checked 12 different detention ponds for any points of entry that could have been made by a vehicle. Due to fencing, residential structures, and large stone landscaping around the ponds, it was determined that a car could not have entered any of the ponds. Let's see. A detective familiar with the area identified a large retention pond called Sloan Ditch, located at Hunter Road, as a possible search location. At 11 a.m., detectives entered a dirt path behind the Bible Church of Indiana. Let's see where that is. I don't see it right there. Well, there's one right there. So that's a different location then. Oh, I see. Maybe over here, because there's some ponds right there. There you go. Well, they're not unknown origins, Half-Redder. They came from the donut place, Thank you, though. Federal Donuts, Here, hold on a second. I'll show you guys. Look at. Like that's like a legit package. Like this is like a real thing. See, Federal Donuts. Like it's got this stuff in there. You see what I'm saying? Doesn't that look pretty legit? Oh, and here's the box it came from. All right, here's the box. There it is. Yeah. Cold gold belly, perishable. See? What do you guys think? And that's actually part of the box. It's not like well, I guess it's a sticker of it. It is what it is. And then there's stickers in there and shit. Forget it. You guys. This is what the original box casing had on it, actual. Man, you guys are more paranoid than I've ever seen. Doesn't that seem legit? I guess you never know. But anyways, I just showed you guys all the information that was in it, alright? Well, it says, I wanted to use your address for sweetness and not malevolence. Well, maybe it is malevolence. Maybe it's the reverse of what... There is enough to share. I'm not even sure I could eat all of them, so... It's too many for me. They're not of unknown origin, though. They're from a place. Right? And now the sugar rush is wearing off, so. What is Hierophant? I don't even know what that means. If he was in the military with logic. No, I wasn't in the military with logic. Why do you care? Man, you guys just get done with all the crazy sort of high school back and forth, you know, it's ridiculous. Yeah, I mean, these things look like they're printer paper stuff, these types of things, but not the cards and everything that are in there. They do have gluten, it says right there. Yeah. All right, let me get back to the... I mean, hell, you guys make me paranoid. I don't even know what you're talking about, Hero Fan. What do you mean your tour profession? What? Yeah, you must be a huge fan of mine on the tour that I'm on. Okay, I'm going to get rid of you. I don't even know what you're talking about. Alright, so here we go. On the 10th, at 12:40 p.m., detectives contacted Kyle's family. The family advised that Kyle had custody of all 3 children and reported Kyle had no mental illness, no drug abuse, and had made no threats of suicide or threats to harm the children. Also, at 1 o'clock, detectives checked jail records for Kyle Moorman and Department of Child Services for possible location children. Not sure if that's for possible location children, huh? Let's see. And then posters of Kyle Moorman II, Kyannah Holland, and Kyran Holland were made and sent out department-wide. At 6:55, posters and photos were sent. 7:07, detectives contacted the last known person to speak with Kyle Moorman on the phone, and that individual advised nothing seemed out of place. The person said the children were asleep in car, and Kyle advised his phone was going to lose battery power. Last location, that was at 7:07, and that was 12:24 a.m. So About an hour and 20 minutes after getting there, I guess. Ding 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 ding. Let's see, what do you guys got there? Actually, I was up in the last 4. What wasn't worth 75? Alright. Here, hold on a second, I gotta check something. Yeah, see? Even the barcode goes right to the... Let's see. Alright. So that's kind of interesting now. So it says detectives attempt to locate the missing vehicle plate number. Yeah, his search warrant was also sent to his phone carrier. That was at 8:43. But, you know, nothing seemed out of place, and he just said that his phone was dying, but that was at 12:24. Then at 9:40 a.m. the next day, a request is sent to Kyle's cellular for ping information. Then 10:07, anonymous tip, black Saab station wagon with loud exhaust eastbound on 79th Street east of Fall Creek. Detectives followed up this sighting, but the tip was unfounded. Then at 10:21, phone pings begin on Kyle's cell phone. Cell pings indicated power was off to the device. Well, or died, right? Like it's not off. And then at 10:21, phone pings begin on Kyle's cell phone. Cell pings indicated power was off to the device. And then another anonymous tip, an individual made statements she was going to kill Kyle and the children. So a tip came in that some other person said that. Detectives followed up on this information, but the tip was unfounded. Then at 11:18 on the 11th, anonymous tip, car parked at Indy Surplus Liquidators asking for welfare check. Detectives followed up to the sighting, but the tip was unfounded. 11:19. See, this is what you get, all these unfounded tips. At 11:19, anonymous tip, individual saw possible matching vehicle Friday at 6:15 p.m. in Indianapolis. Detectives followed up to the sighting, but this tip was unfounded. And then at 1 p.m., Boone County Sheriff's Department called to Cracker Barrel location in Zionsville. A cooperating individual believed that Kyle Moorman and the children were at the restaurant surveillance video. On the restaurant surveillance video, detectives determined it was not the missing family, but photos and videos were collected. And at 2:55 on the 11th, caller advised saw black Saab, tinted windows, tall white male, no facial hair, in gas station parking lot at Marion University. Detectives followed up to the sighting, but the tip was unfounded. Caller stated they saw a male that appeared to be Kyle Moorman with 3 children and a woman at Shoe Carnival on 7/10/2022. Shoe Carnival confirmed they did not have video, but the tip was unfounded. Then at 3 o'clock, a box of diapers and children's shoes are found in a driveway at 2300 block of Kessler Boulevard. That was unfounded. 4:48, anonymous tip, individual stated they saw Kyle Moorman at Lickety Split in Brookston, Indiana. No children were observed. Detectives followed up on the sighting, but the tip was unfounded. Anonymous tipster stated they saw Kyle Moorman at a Marathon gas station. Detectives followed up, unfounded. A lot of unfounded everything. Let's see. Family search pond located at Bluff Road. Family believes that was the last location Kyle Moorman and his children due to finding password of Kyle Moorman's email account. Southwest District had at least 6 cars on the scene. Officers walked the bank line and saw no sign of vehicle in the water. A bottle and clothing were collected as possible evidence. However, the location is littered with garbage and debris. This is still on the 11th. Thank you, the Velvet Army.
Donut wait.
We're just explaining why it took so long to find him. They didn't have the correct information until the last day. We just read the whole thing. You know, it's right there. Yeah, they had a whole bunch of different tips. They finally got accurate cell tower information. Detectives sent Kyle Moorman's cell phone historical data from cellular phone carrier to the FBI. And FBI assistance in mapping locations of his phone. The caller possibly saw Kyle Moorman, this is at 10:41 p.m., Indiana, but did not observe any children. Detectives followed up on the sighting, but the tip was unfounded. 10 a.m. on the 12th, Marquette, Michigan caller saw a male with 3 children believed could be Kyle Moorman. Detectives followed up on the sighting and it was unfounded. See, a lot of bogus tips being sent in, too. (10:35) Auto glass repair business advised that Kyle Moorman had his windshield replaced the day he went missing. Text messages from Kyle Moorman. Well, that's really important information right there, because if you were going to go kill your kids and you were thinking of killing your kids, would you give a shit about fixing your windshield? What do you guys think about that? And it didn't really matter how long it took them to find him in this case. They were already dead. There was nobody was going to get saved. Detectives and aviation unit using drones conducted search of the pond at 2921 Bluff Road and the surrounding area. Nothing was located on the surface of the water, and there were no indications that a car entered the water. While detectives were at the scene, Kyle's family approached them advising that they had hacked his email and showed the last known location was near the 3000 block of Bluff Road. So they got it quicker than the search warrant. Then at 12:51, detectives scheduled DNR sonar boat search of the pond. And then at 1 o'clock, detectives began reviewing Kyle's cell phone records. It was determined there were 2 possible locations on the southeast side where Kyle's phone was pinged. Detectives reviewed video at a business location at Bluff Road. The video showed a similar vehicle matching the description, but could not be confirmed. And then at 2:30, detectives reviewed data sent from the FBI on detailed phone records. And at 2:57, caller believed he saw Kyle Moorman's vehicle stopped on the side of the road. And then at 3 o'clock, detectives and aviation unit using drones conducted search of Sloan Ditch Pond. Vehicle tracks are located on the pond's edge, however, nothing is observed in the water. So, anyways, they ended up finding all 3 of their bodies, or all 4 of their bodies. Kyle's body was floating in the lake, and the 3 children were found in the car. So that does open up the possibility that while they were fishing, he might have gotten out of the car, and then the car rolled into the water, and he went in to try to save them, and then he drowned. Could be all kinds of different things. Especially now that we know that he fixed his windshield and everybody else who communicated with him said there was nothing wrong. So. Yeah, I guess that's basically the update now. I mean, they haven't even, well, I guess they finally confirmed that those were the bodies. I thought it was pretty ridiculous that they wouldn't confirm last night, even though 3 children were found in his vehicle, and they found him, a male floating around. I mean, what's another family randomly scuba diving that swam inside of his vehicle and replaced them with, it just doesn't make any sense. People just say whatever they want to say online, Zozo. We don't have any information about that. I mean, it could be, somebody went out there, killed him, and rolled the car into the water. Could be something like that. But there's a lot of crazy people online. When you say why do people say anything? Why are there 1,000 videos that are attacking Kelsey German in the Delphi case? It's like, what an absolute joke those people are. You know what I noticed is there's these people. Oh, well, thanks, Half Redder. You guys are making me paranoid about the donuts, I mean, I even got an email letting me, hold on, let me check this one out. I got an email from them. Yeah, it said, like an actual email from them.
Just kidding. Great.
Right?
Enjoy your donuts.
So that wouldn't, I don't think that would have happened. Like it says track your package. Let's see. Yeah, so it went right from them to me. So, all right. Legit donuts. People are paranoid about the donuts, but everyone's like, "Are you sure those donuts are from?" I mean, it looks pretty legit with all the packaging and.
Yeah, it's good.
And I even have 3 emails from it.
3 emails.
Oh, and thank you, Brandy. I mean, I got 3 emails saying, "Hey, your donuts are."
Say thank you for who we listening.
But whoever sent those, thank you very much. Yeah, I already said that. You guys made me paranoid. I know you just care about me. Let's see. Yeah, it even has a track your package. I think if it was fake, it would be hard to get the track your package part of it, right? Like an email like this that says view your package status, right? Then you click on it and then it oh, it's delivered, yay. Don't you think that would be, does that make you guys feel a little bit better about it? Hey, it's Sean Beecham. How the hell's it going, Sean Beecham? Haven't seen you in like 1,000 years. Yeah, and it even came from Federal Donuts. It's not like yeah, it's Gold Belly Federal Donuts. So it's all from there. So. Oh God, no, because the email was from the company, not FedEx, Sarita. God, you guys, I tell you. Oh yeah? Yeah. It'd be hard to, what do I ship off the donuts to them or what? Okay. Well, you guys made me paranoid where I was like having anxiety. And then I was actually feeling weird because of the anxiety. But then you're like, is it really anxiety or is it the freaking donuts? Well, I've only eaten one, Brandy. I mean, That's all right. Okay, wow, yay. So I know people want to make this nefarious, but so far I haven't. I'm sort of leaning towards something accidentally happening here, or somebody did something to all of them. You know, that maybe somebody did something to him and then pushed the car into the water and killed all the kids. I don't think he is going to be the one that killed everybody. All right? That's my opinion. Now, you're more welcome to have the incorrect opinion. More than welcome of something else, but yeah. Share the rest with us. Oh, yeah. What, I just put them in the mail and ship them off? But if they come back with some other thing, I mean, we have to wait for... I'm just going to wait for their report. I mean, we can sit there and speculate back and forth. If we hear anything from a family member about something else, a clue, then maybe that would change things. But it didn't sound like there was anything going on. Spin for donuts. What, I put it back in an envelope? And that'd be the most expensive box of donuts I ever got. It's pretty good, though. Pretty good one. Yeah, no. Trump won. That's not what's going on here. It's a track package all the way from the company. All right. Trump won. You can be paranoid all day long, but I'm gonna remove you if you keep doing your stupid comments that you make all day long. It's all the time, one after another. I think this case is a lesson not to jump to nefarious reasons automatically. Yeah, there you go. Let's just see what happens. All right, let's see. Right. All right, you guys are ready? I'm going to go on to these cold cases now. All right. There we go. So let me make the folder over here. They're missing person cases. Probably not ones that would show up in GHI The Missing. All right, there we go. So Daniel Barter. Let's see what we think about these. On one side, a bay with a sharp drop-off just out from the shoreline. On the other, a thick swamp infested with large alligators and numerous poisonous snakes. This is the area where 3-year-old Danny Barter is lost. The wilderness is being searched by more than 100 persons. It is on, let's see, Perdido Bay. Let's see where that is. This is in Alabama. guess somewhere over here. Well, I don't know if you have one of those scanner things, but here you go. Wait, hold on. So you can rewind it, and there you go. Oops. There you go. There's the code. It goes right there. I don't know if that'll work for you or not, but right there. All right, okay. Hey, thanks, Sean Beecham. This is the area where 3-year-old Danny Barter is lost. The wilderness is being searched by more than 100 persons. From Perdido Bay, about 4 miles north of the small town, is the Alabama-Florida line on US 98. Trump, you do, okay. Trump one, you do all the time. Okay, I see them. I just let them go because they're just. Danny apparently wandered off from his family early Wednesday. Let's see. Highway Patrol Sergeant A.R. Phillips said, and then let's see. So apparently wandered off from his family early Wednesday. He had been sleeping in the family car with 3 other children of Mr. and Mrs. Paul Barter of Mobile. The couple and Barter's brother had spent the night in a tent on a bayfront lot, which they planned to clear off while on vacation. When they awakened, Danny was gone. The other children said they last saw him in the car. Phillips said searchers were unable to tell which direction the lad took, whether he went towards the bay, the swamps, or down the little used road towards Lillian. The Barters have 3 other children. Yeah. Well, maybe, how about this Trump one? Maybe they're not stupid. They're just always conspiratorial angle, and that's not what we do here. Okay, so unfortunately, it just doesn't work well on here. The Barters have 3 other children. He is stockroom manager for Mobile Cafeteria. And then here it says, searchers fear the worst, keep looking for Danny. What happened to little Danny Barter? Weary searchers fear the worst, but nevertheless are continuing their exhaustive hunt of the wild swamp and calm bay near where he was last seen. The 3-year-old curly-haired boy wandered off from a family campsite on the shore of Perdido Bay Wednesday morning. Lillian is on US 98 at the Alabama-Florida line. So I guess it's... No, so it's right here. Kind of over more in that area. It's about 50 miles east of Mobile and 15 miles west of Pensacola. Danny is one of 7 children of Mr. and Mrs. Paul Barter of Mobile. The Barters, camping out on their lot about 4 miles north of there, were preparing for a fishing trip when they're missing Danny. When they missed Danny, I guess. So they were about 4 miles north of here preparing for a fishing trip when they missed Danny. They first thought he would be found nearby, but when he wasn't, they called for help. Plenty of help came, since about 500 persons, but not even a trace of the boy, clad only in boxer-type shorts. A Galston veterinarian, Dr. S.R. Monroe, brought 3 champion bloodhounds down, but they couldn't pick up a trail. Deputy Sheriff J.D. Horn, on the scene most of the time, said nobody has any idea what happened to the boy. Thanks, Blind Squirrel. Even a blind squirrel finds a nut.
Ocean wave, ocean wave, ocean wave, ocean wave, donut, donut, donut.
Deputy Sheriff J.D. Horn, on the scene most of the time, said nobody has any idea what happened. However, there seems to be strong reason for believing the boy may have drowned. Horn said, however, that if Danny drowned, it probably wasn't in the bay. His parents say he was extremely fearful of water. Searchers have explored the chance he may have stumbled into one of the numerous bayous and water-filled sloughs in the wilderness area on 3 sides of the camp. The bay hasn't been neglected either. Men have gone in and down in motorboats with shrimp nets trying to find the body. A Navy helicopter has spent several hours over the bay area. On land, hundreds of volunteers have probed the bayous, clumps of palmettos, briar patches, and underbrush. The sheriff mounted posse from Escambia County, Florida, came out and in dense thickets with legs bloody from thorny vines, searchers spotted 2 large alligators atop of the water about 3 miles north of the campsite. 3 men armed with high-powered rifles were posted at the scene throughout Friday night to try for shots at the gators. If any is killed, attempts will be made to get to the shore to see if a little Danny has been attacked by the alligators. Ugh. So, meaning they were going to shoot the alligators and then cut them open and see if there was any parts of Danny inside the alligators. Ugh. Well, let's see. So, no sign of little Danny Barter believed roaming dangerous area. Lillian is on, let's see. Danny is one of 7 children of Mr. and Mrs. Paul Barter of Mobile. The Barters, camping out on their lot about 4 miles north of here, were preparing for a fishing trip when they missed Danny. I think this is almost going to be exactly the same. A Navy helicopter has spent several hours over the Bay Area to see if the body has risen. On land, hundreds of volunteers have probed the bayous, clumps, and palmettos. So it looks like almost identical. So I'm going to switch to the next one on the 21st. So now look at this. Wow. You know, missing Mobile lad believed kidnapped. I mean, where the hell is that coming from? Let's see. Lillian, Alabama, June 20th. The mother of young Danny Barter and the officers who has directed a fruitless search of the missing boy both raised the possibility of kidnapping. Curly-haired Danny 4 had not been seen since Wednesday morning when he wandered away from a family campsite on the shores of Perdido Bay on the Alabama-Florida line. I definitely believe now that someone picked him up and has carried him away, the distraught mother, Miss Paul Barter, said at her mobile home. Wait, she lived at a mobile home?
It's a house!
Okay, all right, jeez. The distraught mother, Miss Paul Barter, said at her mobile home where she has returned to care for her 6 other children. I hope now that someone did take Danny, because I know if anyone wanted him bad enough to kidnap him, they would take good care of him. I can understand why someone would want to take him because he's such a pretty child. Jeez. The 34-year-old mother said, you can understand why someone would want to take him because he's such a pretty child. That's so weird. Okay, that says, her belief that he was kidnapped was strengthened by the fact that not a single trace of Danny has been found by the hundreds of searchers who have probed the area by land, sea, and air. A Gadsden, Alabama veterinarian, Dr. S.R. Monroe, whose 3 bloodhounds ranged over the square mile area of almost 2 days, said the child did not leave the scene walking. Mrs. Barter said a skin diver who searched the hours along the bottom of Perdido Bay, a skin diver with crocodiles going around, man, that guy's got guts. He should have been in that hallway at Vivaldi. Baldwin County Sheriff Taylor Wilkins, who has spearheaded the hunt of the swamplands, and Bay said he is nearly satisfied the boy did not wander into the woods or water near the campsite. He said the men are investigating the possibility of kidnapping or other foul play. Wilkins said he leans towards the theory Danny was kidnapped, since every foot of the land for 5 miles around and almost as much water has been thoroughly searched. Yeah, hold on. Got the same one. Paul had gone into the store. So here's something. Is this the one? I gotta find the beginning of the article. Oh, there it is. So it says, Mrs. Barter recalled minutes prior to Danny's disappearance. Paul had gone to the store and bought some drinks for children, taking Danny with him. When they returned, the children opened their drinks and Danny got one for himself. Danny and my husband were playing together on one of the roll-away cots for a short while. Then Paul got up and began preparing for the fishing trip. We had rigged 3 poles when suddenly we noticed that Danny was not in the tent. So Danny and my husband were playing together on one of the rollaway cots. Then Paul got up and began preparing for the fishing trip. When he had rigged 3 poles, when suddenly we noticed that Danny was not in the tent. I didn't become alarmed at first, even though he was not on the immediate campsite. Mrs. Barter said she thought he may have gone to a house about 150 feet away where he and the other children often played in the sand. Not finding him there, the parents became frantic. Mrs. Barter said less than 10 minutes passed from the time they last saw him until the hunt started. Not for ransom. She said, I had first believed that despite Danny's fear of water, he had wandered into the water and drowned, but not now. I believe that he's probably walked up the road and someone picked him up. The road leads to the campsite from Lillian, 4 miles to the south. So they're north of Lillian, I guess. If someone did take Danny, it could only have been because they were strongly attracted to him. I know it wasn't for ransom because we have no money saved and are supporting our children on my husband's income. Barter is a stockroom foreman for a large mobile cafe. Mrs. Barter added, I know that I will get my Danny back. He's such a very pretty and sweet child. I felt that nothing could ever happen to him. All right. And it says, the disappearance of little Danny Barter grew more baffling today. Investigators indicated they may have scant clues to work with. The 4-year-old boy wandered away from a family campsite last Wednesday. Danny played with his father for a while that morning. Then, while the parents were busy for a moment, Danny vanished. Searchers at first thought he was lost in the woods, but when nothing was found, they turned to the snake and alligator-infested water of the area. Skin divers probe beneath the water while men in boats search the surface. The search parties numbered into the hundreds. Helicopters swooped low for the area while lookouts scanned for some sign of the boy. See, guys, we're doing the reading part again. You know what that means? It's like this. The search party, so a veteran from Gadsden, Alabama, Dr. S.R. Monroe, brought in 3 bloodhounds. Okay, we know about that. Let me go to the 23rd. Hunt continues. Hundreds of persons have taken part in the search. The alligators were captured Monday and cut open, but failed to provide any clues in the case. That's crazy, right? Then there was another article about 2 weeks later. This is kind of like the last one ever in the paper. Sheriff Taylor Wilkins said Friday that we haven't come up with anything new in the mysterious disappearance of young Danny Barter of Mobile 24 days ago. Everywhere we turn, we're at a brick wall, said the officer in charge of the search for 4-year-old Danny. The curly-haired lad was last seen June 17th, a few minutes before he wandered away from a family campsite on the shores of Perdido Bay on Alabama-Florida line. There you go. Thank you, Billy Juliana. Yeah, it's always just gets really... Whenever I do the reading of the old articles, it just... Yeah, you might say, well, then why do you keep reading? Well, I don't know, because that's where the information is. We can kind of go through it together. I mean, if I did it myself, I'd probably do 30 shows a day, but then it would be kind of like condensed down. It wouldn't... 30 cases.
Ocean wave, ocean wave, ocean wave, bomb reading job, great.
Bomb reading job. Alright. One is that there's two theories. One is that the boy may have fallen victim to alligators. That is kind of far-fetched, but I still think it's possible. Then he may have been taken out there, but how we don't know. Taken out of there. He said Danny's parents, Mr. and Mrs. Paul Barter, have tried to think of something new that might aid in the investigation, but have been unable to. The deputy checked the campsite area daily. Mrs. Barter had said he believed someone picked up the lad and carried him away. She said she hoped that is what happened, because I know if anyone wanted him bad enough to kidnap him, they would take good care of him. The Barters were camping on their lot preparing for a fishing trip when they realized Danny was missing. He was clad only in boxer-type shorts. Alright. So basically that was all that was in there, but the Charlie Project here had a little bit more information in there. So it said, Daniel was last seen playing near the banks of Perdido Bay, Alabama, between 9:30 and 10 a.m. on June 18, 1959. He resided in the 1700 block of Thrush Drive in Mobile, Alabama at the time, and had gone camping at Perdido Bay with his parents, a cousin, and 3 of his 6 siblings. His other siblings were staying with relatives. The campsite was about an hour drive from Barter's home. Daniel apparently wandered away from the rest of the family while his parents were preparing some fishing equipment. He was carrying a bottle of knee-high soda at the time. His mother, Maxine Barter, began searching for him 10 or 15 minutes after she last saw him, but was unable to locate him. He's never been heard from again. Let's see. The area Daniel disappeared from is a swampy and infested with alligators and snakes. Authorities investigated the theory that the child had been attacked by an animal. They even killed and gutted 2 alligators to look for human remains, but found no evidence of such an attack. An extensive search of the region, on both land and water, turned up no sign of Daniel or his remains. Even his knee-high soft drink bottle was never found. Bloodhounds were used, but didn't uncover anything useful. Maxine stated Daniel did not like the water, and she did not believe he would have gone into the bay voluntarily. The bay was very shallow at the time, and a person could walk a considerable distance without getting very wet. The undergrowth bordering the campsite was thick and prickly, and as Daniel was barefoot and wearing only a pair of shorts, his loved ones don't believe he would have gone into the bushes. All right. After the search turned up no evidence, Investigators decided it was unlikely Daniel had wandered into the woods or water near the campsite. They looked into the possibility of abduction, but they were never able to find any clues supporting this theory. The Barter family was not wealthy, and they never received any communication from the supposed kidnappers, so a ransom motive is unlikely. A month before Daniel's disappearance, his mother saw a mysterious vehicle parked in front of their home in Mobile. Maxine approached the car, and the driver, a man, immediately covered his face with a newspaper, then drove away. One evening, not long afterward, a neighbor saw a strange man peering into the Barter boys' bedroom, where the boys, including Daniel, were asleep. So now it gets way more into that direction, doesn't it? The neighbor told Maxine that they went to the place where the man had been standing. He was gone, but there were footprints in the dirt under the window. The police made casts of the prints and took photographs, but it is unclear whether this evidence still exists. On the morning before Daniel's disappearance, Maxine drove him and one of his brothers to the store. So the morning before, right? So remember he had that drink in his hand? I wonder why this wasn't in the paper, though. So Maxine drove him and one of his brothers to the store and went inside, leaving the boys in the car. So she went inside in that case, I guess. And the boys stayed in the car. While she was gone, an unknown man drove his car up next to the Barter's car and stared at the boys for a while without speaking to them, then drove away. Daniel's brother told Maxine about it when she returned. These incidents have led the Barters to suspect Daniel was kidnapped by someone who had been stalking the family for some time. His case is reopened in the 21st century, nearly 50 years after his disappearance. Many of the original investigative files have been lost or destroyed. Daniel's father died in 1965, and his mother in 1995. One of Daniel's brothers, who was born after his disappearance, died of cancer in 1997. The rest of his siblings are all alive and still hope his case may be resolved. Jeez. So it does, right at the end there, it sort of made it sound like there is a possibility, right? Alright, so I gotta go use the facility, so hold on. Yo. What's going on? Now we're going to move on to the next one. But I guess that's a case where there's no answer. You know? Poof, gone. Oh, there goes my stomach. Sorry. Ah. I did get an update on one of the cases. I can't tell you. Oh, man. Don't announce this yet. Oh, man, that sucks. Oh, well. Dr. Colleen. That's pretty amazing. All right. Hey, thank you very much, Kristen Cure. All right.
Chewbacca?
Oh, I'll be Chewbacca if you want me to.
All right. Yeah, well, I just let you know. I mean, there might be an update at some point. Sorry, I can't. Yeah. Hey, Kristen Cure. Thank you. All right, going on to the next one. Definitely have allergies kicking in here. This one's in California. Todd Eugene Collett from 1964. Yes, everybody, do what Crystal says and hit the like button. Even if you hate my guts, hit it. No, I'm not going to have another donut. My stomach doesn't handle donuts that well. There's a lot of stuff in them. Eggs and... I mean, I eat eggs, but just not as much as I should. I mean, not as much as... Well, not as much as I would like.
Evil can never be dead enough.
Yeah, you guys like Discord? How come you're never there then, after the shows? Alright, so bloodhounds seek lost boy in Goleta area. A 3-year-old Goleta boy with a tendency to fall asleep is the object of a wide search in the Santa Barbara Goleta area today. Let's see where that one is. Yeah, Goleta, California. See what happened in this one. A 3-year-old Goleta boy with a tendency to fall asleep is the object of a wide search in the Santa Barbara Goleta area. And this is what he looks like right here. That's him on the left. Todd Eugene Collett. 3 bloodhounds, another 3 bloodhounds, isn't that weird? 6 mounted sheriff deputies and about 60 men on foot are seeking Todd Collett, blonde, blue-eyed son of Mr. and Mrs. Tom Collett. The parents told officers the boy, who recently underwent surgery, was last seen Wednesday morning with a playmate near some demolished buildings that were being burned. The playmate, Craig Jensen, 3, also of Goleta, told officers Todd went up the road towards the freeway. The Colletts have 3 other children, Todd's twin brother, Travis, Cindy, 7, and Matthew, 6. Collett, a sheet metal worker, brought his family to Goleta 4 years ago from Ottumwa, Iowa. And there he is right there. So, fear for missing 3-year-old boy deepened as night fell Friday on what was called the most intensive search in Santa Barbara County history. Deputy Sheriff, county jail inmates, bloodhounds, helicopters, and a posse of 100 searched fruitlessly throughout the day in the Goleta Valley area where little Todd Collett disappeared Thursday. Sheriff James W. Webster said it was possible the boy had been picked up by someone. We don't know where to search anymore, the sheriff said. I don't think this county has ever seen a more concentrated search than today. Although the search turned up no trace of the boy, Sheriff Webster said a reduced force of deputies would continue to hunt through the night. It was feared at first that Todd's son, the son of Mr. and Mrs. Thomas Collett, had died in the controlled burning of some old buildings near his home, but no clues were found in a sifting of the ashes. Ew. So there was a controlled burning right next to his house, and they checked the ashes, didn't find anything. Another theory was that the child may have wandered in the dark Thursday night into the heavily traveled Highway 101. Helicopters searched the shrubbery, Craig said. He didn't know where Todd had gone. The Colletts live in the Vista San Marcos subdivision across from San Marcos High School. Let's see where that is. Yeah, there you go. So probably right over here. Yeah, maybe over here. I guess maybe even right there. It's hard to know. It was feared at first that Todd's son... Okay. Another theory was that... Did we already get past that part? Was that the child may have wandered in the dark, yeah. I walked away. I think we're over here. The Colettas live in the subdivision... Or live in the Vista San Marcos subdivision. Let's see. I don't know if it's still called that anymore. Oh, wait, that's not it. Hold on. This is the San Marcos. It's probably one word too, isn't it? No, I don't know. We'll just call that for now. Maybe we'll give out an address. It was in this same general area that 7-year-old Ramona Price vanished on September 2nd, 1961, as she was trying to walk from her family's home to their new one, in another part of the valley. She was never found. After finding Craig alone, Miss Collett wasted no time in reporting her son missing, and the search began. Miss Collett said her blonde, blue-eyed son had undergone surgery recently, and since then a tendency to fall asleep easily. It was hoped he had fallen asleep safely in some of the brush brushland scattered through the area. The Colletts came here for 4 years ago from Ottumwa, Iowa. They had 3 other children, Todd's twin brother Travis, Matthew 5, and Cindy 7. No clue. 2 days of search have failed to turn up any clue to the disappearance of Todd Collett, a 3-year-old boy with a tendency to fall asleep. Mounted sheriff deputies, bloodhounds, and men on foot began their search Thursday afternoon, shortly after the lad's parents, Mr. and Mrs. Tom Collett, reported him missing. Searchers said Todd was last seen with a 3-year-old playmate, Craig Jensen, later found alone. The search for a missing 3-year-old boy went into its 4th day Sunday without success. Because no trace of little Todd Collett had been found in the Goleta Valley area where he vanished Thursday afternoon, authorities speculated that he may have been a victim of foul play. A bearded stranger was picked up for questioning Sunday but was released later when sheriff deputies determined he had no connection with the disappearance. Sheriff James Webster said 3 housewives reported seeing the man talking to children in the area Thursday. The man said he had been looking for a house under construction near Hollister Elementary School when he where he was promised employment. The search, called the most intensive in Santa Barbara County history, slackened Sunday after Sheriff Webster said he saw no further use in continuing and on the ground. We have been over the area 3 times, he said. We've used bloodhounds and ground crews and helicopters in the air, 4 planes of the Civil Air Patrol. Todd's son of Mr. and Mrs. Todd Collett was with a friend, Craig Jensen, also 3, when he wandered from his home. Craig told authorities that while they were watching the razing of some nearby apartments, his companion walked up a hill and disappeared. So, this other kid actually saw this. Bloodhounds have traced the boy's steps to a general telephone building at Marcos Road and Hollister Avenue. Let's see where that is. Now we gotta, unless they haven't changed it. Marcos Road and Hollister Avenue. Okay, so now we're over here. So there's Hollister and Marcos. So probably didn't live over here. It's probably more like over in this area. I don't know for sure, but and I'm sure it looked totally different back then. I would imagine, the highway wasn't even maybe in the same spot or anything. Like it probably wasn't even anywhere near like this at all. Well, hell, look at it right then. That's 94, and there wasn't even homes right there, or any of them right there. Now look at it, completely filled in. Looks like a nursery right there. Didn't they mention a nursery a minute ago? Let's see. Bloodhounds have traced the boy's steps to a general telephone building at San Marcos Road and Hollister Avenue near busy Highway 101. Is that 101? It's Highway, where is it? Yeah, that's 101. Well, there's 101 right there, but again, who knows what it used to be. But it seems 1 minute he was there and the next vanished. So, poof, gone. The dog's tracking, but then he disappears, like somebody picked him up. A little bit like Moore Murray there, right? Sheriff deputies pressed an intensive house-to-house search in Collegeville area today for a missing 3.5-year-old Santa Barbara boy following an anonymous telephone call to the boy's mother, indicating he was in the area east of Stockton. The boy, Todd Collett, has been missing since he walked away from his home in Collett. The first indication, so this is the voice of the man. The first indication here came with a long-distance call received by his mother, Mrs. Tom Collett, in Goleta Valley at 5 a.m. today. She said a man who did not identify himself told her the boy was in the Collegeville area. Adding impetus to the search was the report by a Collegeville resident, Viola Carlson, that she saw a man working on an old car along Mariposa Road near the home at about 5:30 a.m. Mariposa Road. It's not there anymore. That's not it. Okay. Marco. Don't see it. The incident involving the car came to light as deputies began. Okay, so it said, adding impetus to the search was the report by a Collegeville resident, Viola Carlson, that she saw a man working on an old car along Mariposa Road near her home about 5:30 a.m. today. She said she heard a child crying in the back seat of the car, which later headed toward Stockton. The man who phoned Mrs. Collett reportedly told her, "The baby's okay. Don't worry. He's sleeping right now. We're near Collegeville on an unimproved road where it intersects with a railroad track." The speaker indicated he was near Highway 99 and Highway 4 or Mariposa Road. Miss Carlson's home is near the Santa Fe tracks on Mariposa Road. Anyways, so that happened, and it says, anxious mother awaits another call about her son. So Miss Collett, whose son disappeared from the Goleta Valley home last Thursday, began telephone vigil, so she's just sitting around waiting for the phone to ring, hoping that this person calls. And then we get inventor sent calls to lost home. At 5 a.m. Tuesday, the mother of missing 3-year-old received a call from a man who told her the boy is safe and unharmed. It was the first of 4 phone calls which stirred hopes that the little Todd Collett might be located quickly and returned to the Santa Barbara home from which he vanished last Thursday. The calls sent hundreds of officers on hopeless searches and unsuccessful roadblocks. Yesterday, officers in Los Angeles reported the source of the calls, a 56-year-old Los Angeles man who had a machine which they quoted him as saying could trace missing. Oh, guess what? It's like an EVP device. Man, it's incredible. Man, this guy was way ahead of the times here. You know, it's probably called a phosphorus scintillizer. You know, he probably had a bunch of wires all sort of taped onto something, soldered onto nothingness. You know, a little, probably made like a sphere and soldered all these wires and then put it on a crown around his head and said, "Mew, I can figure this out, everybody. It can trace missing people." Los Angeles police and sheriff's, probably that Trump one guy would love that shit. Los Angeles police and sheriff's officers from Santa Barbara County verified that all 4 calls were made by the man who described himself as an inventor. Police said he had no knowledge of Todd Collett, probably remote viewing perhaps. Police said he had no knowledge of Todd Collett's whereabouts after then what he got from maps and the weird-looking device. It was all maps, okay. It worked, they said, like a divining rod. Oh, my God. I knew it. I'm just flipping you crap, Trump one, okay? Don't worry. I know you're not into EVP. How about, you're not into EVP, what about the other medium. It's not really EVP. It's called, what's the actual term for this crap that we have? Spirit box. How about a spirit box? Patch it? You heard it at the end, right? See, what I think they should do, though, is tell the ghosts to just be more specific, don't you think? I mean, aren't you getting tired of these ghosts just going, instead of, his name's Joe Smith, he lives on 311 9th Street. Dark hair, freckles, about 4'8". You know, I mean, wouldn't that be great? Instead, it's, hey, you know, get your shit together, spirits. All right, we need better information, please. All right, the boy is safe and unharmed. He's with a man, blah, blah, blah. The call sent hundreds of officers on hopeless searches. What a waste of time. That guy should have been put in prison. Los Angeles police said sheriff's officers from Santa Barbara County verified that all 4 calls were made by the man who described himself as an inventor. Oh, yeah. You don't like spirit boxes? The man was not arrested. Officers were convinced that he thought he was helping the parents of the boy. Oh, I bet you did. You know, I always loved that one guy. We had this guy, my biological father, he had this DVD, and it was something like a, K9000 gold divining rod. And it was awesome, man. This thing had 3 antennas on it. Well, it had 2 antennas and 2 in the middle, and you hold it on your hand like this, but it's kind of just slides around, and if you turn it on and you dial it in just right, it'll turn. It'll start turning like a divining rod to any gold that's in the ground. And it was the most hilarious video. If I could ever find it, it was absolutely hilarious because it was, the training video was filmed at home, and he had a wife, and the wife would start filming, and all of a sudden she wouldn't do it right, and you'd see him stomp over, and all of a sudden with the camera, and then you come back later and everything's different. It's like you wonder, man, this guy was a nut job. But at the end, what was it, the thing he did at the end? At the end of the video, he takes you down this valley with this little device. And by the way, we opened up the device because my biological father owned it. And it was just a bunch of shit soldered onto nothing. There was nothing, they didn't do anything. So what he did, though, is he goes, ooh, I'm getting a really strong reading here. Ooh, wow, it's a big, oh, man. And I tell you, and he looks at the camera and says, and if I had time, I'd dig this up for you. But if you get one of these too, you can, I'm like, hey, listen, why are you even selling these suckers? Just get a shovel out and start digging, man, because you found the pot of gold. I mean, there's no reason to sell anymore because you just found it. Yeah. Yeah, man, people get suckered by that stuff. It's crazy. I gotta find that. It was the funniest thing. The way he would calibrate it. It's ridiculous. But anyways. So that didn't turn out to anything, and then all we have now is the final, Charlie Project one here. It said, Todd was last seen playing near his home in San Marcos division of Goleta. There was a shopping center under construction at the time, and the boys were not allowed to enter the construction site, but Todd did anyway. His friend followed him, but Todd's twin brother stayed behind. 20 minutes later, Todd's friend's mother picked up her son and asked him where Todd was. The boy said something about a fire and a bulldozer. Demolition fires were burning at the construction site. They burned for 4 hours before they were extinguished. Authorities searched the ashes for signs of Todd and also the septic system, but turned up no evidence. Tracker dogs indicated he may have traveled near the railroad tracks over the turnpike overpass. Neighbors reported seeing a strange man in the area around the time Todd's disappearance. He had fair skin, a black beard, and green eyes, and wore a navy blue blazer with a insignia reading New Zealand. He spoke good accented English. The man was asking directions to new houses in the area. The neighborhood was full of newly constructed homes. He so unnerved one woman he approached that she made her children go indoors. The man was never been identified, and it is unknown whether he had anything to do with Todd's disappearance. Todd is one of 5 children. His mother died of cancer in May of 2003. The child's case remains unsolved. Foul play is suspected. So, crazy. All right, you guys, got to do my nightly pitch. If you guys would like to help out the channel, if you send in a PayPal, you can get a notebook, and you're also into the spin. But yeah, every $5 you send in, you get a chance to win something. But it also, the main goal is that it helps out my channel so I can keep doing what we're doing, and also the charities during the month and at the end of the month. I mean, that's kind of where we get our best feeling, you know. So yeah, I wish I could tell you what she sent me though, but it was on one of the cases that we're funding. It's just information. That's all it was. Nothing has been solved or anything like that. Yeah, it sucks, the Velvet Army. Their whole rest of their life is a nightmare. It's also a missing person. You know, you live in limbo your entire life. All right, now we got one last one here. Yeah. Huh. Well, that's awesome. All right, you guys. It's got another response. Yeah, maybe it's got to do with one of the cases that we're funding. Just that it's progressing. Let's put it that way. All right. Awesome. Yeah. You know, a lot of these ones sort of sound like the ones that are, you know, what's that one where all the kids go missing in the woods? Something like that. 101 or 401 or... You know, I haven't heard from Cairo in a long time. I tried to get a hold of him, but there's no answer. The voicemail's full. A little bit worried about him. If you see him out there, let me know. And thank you, Allison. I don't know, Sean, we're working on something else. And why wouldn't you just ask? Send me an email or something. I don't get it. Yeah, that guy. Yeah, he normally answers his phone. Let me try to call it now. You guys aren't going to listen. All right, well, he was, I guess he, after his long journey, he went on vacation. He was at the beach. And when we went live, he didn't want to call me. So, anyways, he's fine. Thanks, Susanna Nicola Padre. Yeah, he's good. He got really burnt out. He had this long trip where, I mean, it was like the most ludicrous number of towers he had to get done every single day just to get it done, and he did it. You know, thankfully he had a new vehicle to do it in because, you know, I'm sure that one ended up being a lot more comfortable. He said he tried to comment in here, but it didn't go through either. I don't know. But anyways, that's good. Makes me feel better. I've tried texting him and calling him a few times and didn't hear back from him, but there he is. All right, so this one here, this is two brothers that went missing. I don't really know much about this one, but I think they have an idea based on what I read in a little bit of the Charlie Project deal. But I don't know. I might just read a couple of these and then move on. There's this really long article in 2018, actually. So. A search for two young boys missing, and this is in Raleigh, North Carolina, are Terry Lee Westerfield 11 and Alan John Westerfield 7, sons of both those kids look older than that, don't they? Mr. Carl Brock, they're sons of Mr. Carl Brock of Fayetteville and Captain Melvin T. or sons of Mrs. Carl Brock, Fayetteville and Captain Melvin T. Westerfield, Fort Jackson, South Carolina. Helping the police department in the investigation are members of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the State Bureau of Investigation, the Central, we're going through all that. Foul play has not been ruled out, but Chief Worrell said we are still looking for them as missing persons. He said a pond near the home was dragged by the Fayetteville Fire Department as a precautionary measure. I've noticed that they didn't give out an address in any of these articles. The stepfather, Sergeant Carl Brock, a member of the 503rd MP Battalion at Fort Bragg, reported the boys missing Sunday morning. He told police that he had dropped them off at a theater Saturday afternoon and that they did not meet him as prearranged. Brock said he thought their mother had picked them up, but when Mrs. Brock came home early Sunday without the boys, he called police. Mrs. Brock married Brock last summer after divorcing the father of the children. Cor Westerfield, who has re-enlisted in the service since the divorce, told officers he had been confined to quarters the weekend the boys disappeared. Chief Worrell said officers at Fort Jackson told him, as far as they could determine, Westerfield was on the base that weekend. He said he understood Westerfield has obtained a pass and is on his way to Fayetteville, When last seen, Terry, the 11-year-old, was wearing short jeans and a striped shirt. He's 4'10", 110 pounds, and has red hair and blue eyes. Alan is 3'10", weighs 80 pounds, has dark blonde hair and blue eyes, and has a speech defect. When last seen, he was wearing short brown pants and a blue shirt. Everybody hit the like button. Okay. We got to get Crystal AKA from spending her whole time getting the likes. Hit the like button, 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 10, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, hit the like button, hit the like button. So now there wasn't a lot of coverage on it, so Police say they believe 11-year-old Terry Lee Westerfield and 9-year-old brother Alan John are dead. There's no doubt among the members of the detective division of the Lafayette Police Department, although they haven't uncovered a shred of evidence that might lead them to the youngsters. The children have been officially missing. This is 1964, by the way. And the last one, I think, was... The last story we just did was 1964 also. The children have been officially missing since September 12th. Their stepfather, Sergeant Carl A. Bach, a Fort Bragg military policeman, took the boys to a downtown movie that afternoon and was unable to find them when he returned about 4 hours later. Bach told police he waited near the theater for about an hour and then returned to his home in Bordeaux subdivision. He said he thought the boys' mother had picked up the children. Mrs. Bach, a cosmetologist, had been to the Fort Bragg club with friends and returned home after midnight. She said she knew nothing about the children, and Bach called police. For more than a month, police have questioned dozens of neighbors and well-meaning informers who wanted to help. The authorities investigated the possibility the boys' disappearance might be linked to their real father, Melvin T. Westerfield, a former Fort Bragg soldier who left Fayetteville after his discharge and eventual divorce. Anonymous telephone tips have been checked out with care. Volunteers have searched ponds and woods where persons reported seeing 2 children. We certainly haven't given up the search, Detective Captain Earl Melving said. We're still hoping for a break in the case. One detective said they're hoping hunters now in the densely wooded areas and in and around Fort Bragg might find some clue to the whereabouts of the boys. October 23rd. Yeah, I'm just going to go. There's one in 1968. I mean, it's still 4 years later. You know, they didn't really cover it a lot, but it says, it was the night of September 13th, 1964, when Alan John Westerfield, 7, and his 11-year-old brother, Terry, left downtown Fayetteville Theater. They have not been seen since. Fayetteville authorities, on this 4th anniversary of one of the most perplexing mysteries in city police files, admit that they are no closer to a solution than in 1964. Police Chief L.F. Worrell said Friday, "We keep hoping that someone may come forward with a clue that will help us. We are reviewing the case once again." The stepfather of the missing children, Sergeant Carl Bach, told police 4 years ago that he had left the boys at a Saturday afternoon movie and returned for them that night. The brothers, however, were not at a prearranged meeting place. Bach waited for some time, then returned home believing that Mrs. Brock had picked up the children. When Mrs. Brock came home without the 2 boys, police were notified. In the ensuing months, police searched all nearby wooded areas, dragged lakes and ponds, and checked out scores of false leads. The case remained open, Worrell said, and the search continues. Alright, so then there was like nothing, and then 50 years, I mean, literally 50 years later, there is, here's an article here. This one's pretty long. So this is by the Fay Observer, so probably Fayetteville Observer. And it says, on an unusually hot Saturday afternoon in September 1964, a military police officer dropped off his 2 young stepsons in downtown Fayetteville right outside the Broadway Theater on Hay Street. Yeah. So that's in, let's see. I wonder if that's still there. Hay Street, right? and it was on Hay Street. That's Hay Street. There's a theater right there, but it's probably one of these then. Looks like an old town though. Just one of these red pins right here. Gilbert Theater maybe. Yeah, that could have been it. That looks kind of old. But maybe that's where they do plays, not like a movie theater. How about movie theater? Yeah, there we go. That's gone. There's one right there. Cameo Art House Theater maybe. I don't know. Anyways, this is Hay Street right there. And when you go down to the street, it looks like the city's been there just like this for decades. I mean, look at this thing. This is, bricks. So I'm sure the building that the theater was in is exactly the same today. I mean, these are all really old buildings here. Alright, so they were dropped off at the theater on Broadway Theater. Oh, outside of... Is it still there? Broadway Theater. I don't know if it's called that. So if it's on Hay Street, is there a Broadway Street? Let's see. Broadway... Huh. Let's see. Maxwell... So there's a, doesn't look like there's a Broadway street in the town anymore, so it would be hard to figure that out. Anyways, so the boys wanted to see a double feature, he would later say. So that's why it was 4 hours. I was wondering, like 4 hours is a long time for a movie. That actually popped into my head, but I figured, by the time you get there and I mean, nowadays, I went and watched Top Gun, the second one, me and my wife did. It's pretty good, actually, for what it was. But, like you get in the theater, and the movie's supposed to start at, let's say, 1:15, and you're still watching previews up until like 1:45. I mean, it's ridiculous. Just one after the other. You keep hoping that this is the last one. Okay, this is the last one. But some people love going to movies to watch the previews. I want to go and just start watching the movie. So anyways, they went there for a double feature. Around dusk, as storms from a dying... what's weird is how similar he still looks compared to back then. Around dusk, as storms from a dying hurricane rumbled over Fayetteville, the stepfather said... He returned to the theater and waited for the boys. So he's a stepfather. It's one of those weird situations. Like, there must be proof that they made it there. So he waited for the boys at the theater and they never showed up when he came to pick them up. Terry Westerfield, a red-head, freckle-faced 11-year-old, and his 7-year-old brother Alan vanished that afternoon. On September 12th, 1964. I mean, I wasn't even born yet. That's crazy how old these are. Fayetteville police, Fort Bragg investigators, and dozens of other lawmen searched extensively for the Westerfield boys. They chased tip after tip as rumors about the boys spread over the city. Police searched the cars seen around the Bordeaux neighborhood where the family lived, and interviewed dozens of people who thought they had seen the boys. They chased leads across several states and brought in the FBI for help. We've checked every lead we've had, and we're still up against a blank wall, Police Chief L.F. Worrell told an Observer reporter in the days after the disappearance. Days would turn into weeks, then years. Investigators would find nothing, not a piece of clothing, not a solid witness, no bodies. Gradually, the shocking story of the missing Westerfield brothers would erode in the back of people's minds until eventually it was nearly gone. 54 years have passed since the disappearance, which is believed to be the oldest such case involving juveniles in the state. Most of the key people closest to the boys are dead, as are the original investigators. The Broadway Theater was demolished years ago, so I guess it's not there. You'd think it would be one of those old buildings, though. The site today is, oh, there you go, the Robert C. Williams Business Center. Maybe that's one of the places that doesn't look old. Huh, it's not even on the same street. Well, there's Hay Street right there, so wow. It's not even on Hay Street. Yeah, so that's just a brand new building there. That's not even... Oh, is that even the building? Hold on, let me try that again. Robert C. Williams Business Center. Yeah. Well, apparently that's supposed to be it, but... Terry Westerfield, a red-headed, freckled-faced 11-year-old. Fayetteville Police, Fort Bragg investigators, and dozens of other lawmen searched extensively for the Westerfield boys. They chased tips after tip. We've checked every... Oh, crap. Don't tell me. I get to go back. Hold on. We've checked every lead we've had. We're still up against a blank wall, Police Chief L.F. Worrell told an observer. Days would turn into weeks, then years. Investigators would find nothing, not a piece of clothing, not a solid witness. 54 years have passed since the disappearance, which is believed to be the oldest such case. But not everyone has forgotten Terry and Alan Westerfield. The Fayetteville Police Department still has the file. A cold case task force reopened in the late 1990s and early 2000s. We really and truly didn't have anything to work with. Remember Alex Thompson, a retired Fayetteville police lieutenant. That's what he remembered. We didn't have anything. Over the years, generations of detectives have pieced together theories about what they believe may have been the brothers' fate. The boys were probably killed on that hot September day when they disappeared, some believed. And the killer was probably the one person they had suspected all along. Margie Westerfield Bach had to go to work at a hair salon early that Saturday morning, so she hired a babysitter to look after her two boys at their home on Madison Avenue in Bordeaux. The neighborhood off Owen Drive. She was a single mother to Terry and Alan, divorced from their father and recently separated from her husband, Carl Bach, a military police officer who was living on Fort Bragg. After she left work, Bach went to the house and told babysitter Barbara Temple to leave. She stalled as long as she could before leaving between 12:30 and 1. So who stalled? After she left for work, Bach went to the house. Let's see who. So that's Margie, right? Right, because her ex is Westerfield. Huh?
Huh?
Let's see. Margie Westerfield Bach had to go to work at the hair salon early that Saturday morning. So she hired a babysitter to look after her boys at their home on Madison Avenue. She was single mother to Terry and Alan, divorced from their father and recently separated. After she left for work, Bach went to the house. After she left work, so she was done with work, she went to the house and told the babysitter Barbara Temple to leave. She stalled. Now who's she in this case? She stalled as long as she could before leaving between 12:30 and 1. That's about the time that Alan... See, why did she stall? I mean, I don't really understand what you're trying to... That's about the time that Alan 7, who had dark blonde hair and a speech impediment, was seen riding his bicycle outside. Another boy from the neighborhood stopped by the house and asked if Terry could come to play. Bach told him no, that Terry was being punished. Bach would later tell investigators that... Oh, this is a he. This is a guy then. Hold on. Shit. Now I gotta go back up and sort of reset this. Had to go to work at a hair salon early that Saturday morning, so she hired a babysitter to look after her boys at the home on Madison Avenue. She was a single mother to Terry and Alan, divorced from their father and recently separated from her third husband, Carl Bach, a military officer who was living on Fort Bragg. After she left for work. Okay, right. So she takes off to go to work. Then Bach, the father, went to the house and told the babysitter, Barbara, to leave. And then, now it makes more sense. Now the babysitter was stalling because it's like, what's going on here, That was about the time that Alan's 7-year-old, who had dark blonde hair and a speech impediment, was seen riding his bicycle outside. Another boy from the neighborhood stopped by the house and asked if Terry could come play. Bach, the father, stepfather, told him no, that Terry was being punished. Bach, who would later tell investigators that he took the boys to the movies. Yeah, they're punished, so you took them to a movie. About 4 p.m., No Name on the Bullet, that was called, and that's the name of the movie, No Name on the Bullet, a Western starring Audie Murphy, was playing at the Broadway along with Atomic Man, a science fiction film. By his own admission, he said the boys wanted to go to a double feature, and he took them there. He doesn't know why they wanted to go. The weather was... how come they were going when he was being punished, though? The weather was ominous that evening as the remnants of Hurricane Dora moved through, dumping more than 2 inches of rain overnight. Margie came home at about 5:30 and found Bach at the house. They argued about Bach sending the babysitter home and him taking the boys to the movies. Yeah. She changed clothes and went out for the evening to the NCO club on Pope Air Force Base, something she had been doing frequently. So she came home, changed clothes. Okay. Bach told police he returned to the Broadway at about 7:45, parked and waited for the boys. They were supposed to meet him at the corner. He said he stayed until 9:30 p.m. and left. At what time he ever... Let's see. At what time did he ever get out of his vehicle, Thompson said. The employees at the theater will tell you they were not approached or asked about them. Oh boy. The theater worker knew the boys, who were frequent customers, and made tips to the concession stand. They told police the boys weren't at the theater that night. I was thinking, man, they have to have proof of that, but there isn't. I said that when we were reading it, but man, you got to be kidding me. When Bach left downtown, he traveled to Fort Bragg and then returned to the Westerfield house to wait for Margie. When he got home from the club at about 1 a.m., the two again argued. So when she got home at 1 a.m., the two argued about the boys and the events that occurred that day. Bach questioned whether Margie had picked up her sons, pressing her on the issue. He keeps stressing that he dropped them off at the movies, Thompson said. At 2 a.m., Margie had heard enough. She called police and told them that her sons were missing. Things were complicated for Margie, who got married young and would find herself caught between the boys' biological father and her third husband, Bach. Thompson discovered the strained relationship when he began looking into the case after talking with Margie before her death. Margie was 18 when she first met Bach, who was 10 years older, in the Fort Bragg Post Exchange where he worked at the time. Bach, whose family immigrated to the United States from Germany when he was a boy, had enlisted in the Army in 1945. Early in his military service, he was charged with a crime, Thompson said. I want to say it was robbery or assault, but regardless, it was sentenced He was sentenced and served time in Leavenworth. So, not a good guy already. Bach was given the choice of serving a sentence or returning to active duty. He was released from prison, made a military police officer, and I mean, that's ludicrous right there. Yeah, he was released from prison, and then he was made a military police officer. What a ridiculous set of circumstances that is. Although she found him to be a gentleman, Thompson said, Margie regarded Bach as more of a brother than a boyfriend. Shortly afterwards, she met Thomas Mel Westerfield, also a soldier. The two began dating, often riding to Rockingham to visit Margie's mother. And like most good love stories, Thompson said, she didn't think Bach knew about Mel. What changed when Margie borrowed Bach's camera and took photos of her and Westerfield? That's so dumb. She returned the camera, but forgot to take out the film. Bach had it processed and discovered that Margie and Westerfield were a couple. I think the word today is busted, Thompson said. Margie maintained both relationships, dating Westerfield and her brotherly friendship with Bach, thinking he had no interest in her. But Bach slipped away to New York City for a vacation and returned with an engagement ring that he presented to Margie. Wow. So Margie maintained both relationships. Wow, she was in two of them. Westerfield and her brother relationship with Bach, I mean. But Bach slipped away to New York City for a vacation and returned with an engagement ring that he presented to Margie. She accepted. Wow, really? Why did you accept the ring? Even though she continued to date Westerfield. Oh boy. The Army reassigned Bach shortly afterward. She didn't have any idea where he transferred to, Thompson said, but he wrote her the letters would come to her mother's Rockingham address. Her mother would read the letters and discard them. Margie, who still had the engagement ring, had also given the address to Westerfield. He also sent letters which were passed along to Margie. So both of her boyfriends were in the military, and they both had her mom's address, but her mom would toss out Bach's and forward along Mel's. There you go. About 18 months after meeting Margie and Westerfield were married, so... Okay, so Margie and Westerfield got married. The couple had been married about 4 years when Westerfield was transferred to Germany. The family went with him, and Margie discovered around the same time that she was pregnant with their second child, Alan. Yeah. 3 years later, Westerfield was transferred back to Fort Bragg. Okay. And so now they're back in the United States. Shortly after that, the marriage ended. Margie began life anew with her sons and resumed a relationship with Bach. Oh boy, but now, I'm just saying this out loud, now Margie has 2 kids that are spawns from Westerfield, who had taken her from Bach. And now he's going to exact revenge and kill Westerfield's 2 kids, right? 3 years later, Westerfield was transferred back to Fort Bragg. Shortly after that, the marriage ended. Margie began life anew with her sons and resumed a relationship with Bach. The 2 eventually got married. Oh boy. It was short-lived, though, Thompson said, and Bach never established a relationship with his stepsons. Margie began spending more time at the NCO club. Years later, Thompson said Bach was indifferent about the boys and their mother. It was clear he was devoid of any emotion in respect to those boys, and really he was different about Margie as well. In 2000, Mark Brewington, a State Bureau of Investigation agent on the Cold Case Task Force, visited Bach when he was living in Eleanor, West Virginia, a small town in a bend along the Kanawha River. Bach was about 80 at the time. He didn't welcome the investigators with open arms. He really and truly didn't want to talk to us. But I think he was intrigued and wanting to know what we knew, Thompson said. He toyed with us, throwing old information and seeing where it would go with it, and he'd go silent to see how much we actually knew. In 2012, Fayetteville police detective Mike Ballard and Thompson interviewed Bach again. This time they traveled to Tomah, Wisconsin, a small city about 50 miles east of Mississippi River. Bach showed no concern as to the fate of the brother, the investigators said. They noted, too, the one term that Bach used in talking about Westerfield as them boys. There was no feeling, no emotion, Ballard said. It's simply them boys. Bach had referred to them the same way years earlier when he was interviewed by Thompson. In both interviews, and I chastised him. Oh, so he says, in both interviews, and I chastised him in the first and second interviews. Did he ever call Alan and Terry by name? He said, it was them boys. That's all Bach would do to give them any credit as to why they were as young children, was them boys. Ballard, having read the case file and interviewed Bach, made him an offer. I approached him with the possibility of a letter of qualified immunity telling him all we are interested in is finding these boys. He looked at us and said, I was in the MP, military police, and if I hadn't been in the MPs, that would be a pretty good proposition. Ballard took that to mean that Brock thought he was smarter than to accept such a deal. They chatted a little more. I thought it means like maybe he would lose a pension that he has or something. They chatted a little more before Bach made a statement that Ballard believes incriminated himself. Probably is more like what they were saying now. He said, I was the last one to see them alive. In my line of work, well, how does he, well, he shouldn't have been, right? Because he made it to the theater, right? You told everybody he made it to the theater, so obviously you weren't the last one. They had to go buy the tickets. There was somebody. Yeah, this is just like, what's his face? What case was that? Yeah, I think, what was his name? Chase in the... Oh man, my brain is just not working. There it is. The McStay family. Yeah. So Chase Merritt, right? Like he said, oh yeah, I'm definitely the last one. I mean, that was so hilarious. Like Chase Merritt is being interviewed in the McStay case and referring to Joseph McStay, who was murdered. A reporter asked him, so you were the last one to see him? He goes, oh yeah, I was definitely the last person to see him alive. I mean, what a slip up that is, right? I'm not sure what you're talking about. Yeah. Yeah. All right, you guys, I'd like to get into mug zone. We're not even into a mug zone again. We really struggle. Every time I do the reading stuff, you guys see the difference, right? I mean, just put a 1 if you see a massive difference whenever I'm reading the articles going over the case. I mean, it's crazy. It's like there's almost nobody chatting, and the enthusiasm level drops dramatically. I think I'm learning something about that. I got to do all the bells and whistles, and start doing dancing a jig, talking about the sensationalistic garbage, and then we'll get back to the good old days, right? Yeah, I mean, notice like right now, look at that. There's no comments. Yeah, I mean, it's such a massive difference. It's crazy. Anyways, he said, I mean, the thing is I know what you're saying, Buckle Bunny, but what I'm trying to say is on this show, we try to raise funds to help support my channel and the charities at the end of the month. And whenever I do the reading part, it just dries up to a absolute zero, almost. So it's like, should I keep doing that? Because it really affects the performance of the entire channel, so, yeah. What about Dylan Rounds? I'm not talking about Dylan Rounds ever again, unless there's an update. I think that case is a joke at this point. Really stupid. We there was an interesting thing that came out the other day. Boom, we put it out there. Bam, great. But that's it. You want me to cover Dylan Rounds right now, Charisma? Jesus, are you that? You're not really that into that right now, are you? I mean, the damn thing there's no information whatsoever. Hey, thanks, Dan Carr. Nah, that's not. Well, it's really not. That's not what it's really about. It's kind of like, if you guys got to support everything, if you want to support the channel, it's got to be regardless of what, how it's presented and stuff like that. It's, we do the come on down. Yeah. Come on, you can't be serious about Dylan Rounds still. I mean, if you're still over there watching the live streams, there's something off with you. It's like at this point, it's pure sensationalism. Everybody tries to get the gym guy on because I can get a lot of views and subs, and we're just not doing that. Yeah, it's gone into clickbait zone. Oh yeah. No, Jeff, I do not have the munchies yet, but thank you. We'll put that in the spin. No munchies. My nose got plugged, though. Maybe there was something in the donuts that make my nose plug. Maybe that's it, Plato. What do you think I should do, the Velvet Army? You were the first one to type in a 1. Plus, you guys should head over to Discord sometimes and do the after show conversation. I kind of wish there was just like 2 channels in there. Like one for past shows and then one where it's just post-show conversation. That's it. It's hard to navigate in there sometimes. Oh, man. Allergy Central. I gotta go take one of those Sudafed type things. Boy. Oh, just got one of those. My nose just got really plugged. Yeah, okay. He said, I was the last one to see them alive. In my line of work, pretty much that's a confession. Yeah. Bach died in Toma on May 9th, 2016 at the age of 93. He never married. He was buried with military honors. Boy, isn't that great? Westerfield never stopped looking for his sons. He documented his efforts in a diary. He actively pursued leads on his own, Thompson said. He would go wherever a person would give him a clue. He consulted mediums, and they would, oh boy. And he would go wherever a person would give him a clue. Batshit, do you hear that? 1978, Westerfield committed suicide. Oh, man. He is buried in Cross Creek Cemetery, number 4. Marjorie remarried and lived much of the remainder of her life in Loris, South Carolina. I mean, just think how it just screwed that Westerfield guy. He was going to have kids and grandkids, just sort of be a nothing. Yeah. Margie doesn't sound like the greatest person in the world, I got to tell you. Margie remarried again and lived much of the remainder of her life in Loris, South Carolina. I think ultimately, I know this to be true because she said so. She found herself responsible for those kids, Thompson said. The fact she was never there at the house, the fact that she knew the boys were gone at 5:30 p.m., and chose to do what she normally did on a regular basis, which was going to the NCO club. Right, exactly. If the boys were still alive, Terry would be 65, and Alan would celebrate his 61st birthday this month. Their disappearance remains classified as a missing person case. Their photos are still found on missing person websites. Some sites include an age progression indicating what they might look like as adults. At one point, Thompson said, he and the Fayetteville Police Department forensics team searched the Madison Avenue house where the boys lived. He turned the underside of the house upside down and never found anything. The 3 investigators say the evidence, all circumstantial, indicate that Bach is responsible for the death. Other investigators from a multitude of agencies reached the same conclusion. The case won't be closed until remains are found or a confession can be substantiated. The youngest of the 3 investigators, he remains hopeful that the bodies were buried on Fort Bragg. They'll turn up given the amount of construction around the reservation. That would be cool. I'm also optimistic there could be a witness or 2 who never said anything. For instance, Bach, after this, lived all over the world and the United States. Over the years, Margie never gave up hope that her boys would be found. In a 1994 interview with The Observer, she told a reporter that she liked to think her sons were still alive. There's always a part of you that wants to believe they are still alive somewhere, she said. I hope and pray they will be found alive, but that's only a hope. Sometimes I don't think God will let me die without knowing what happened to my children. Margie died February 27, 2003, in Florence, South Carolina at the age of 70. The fate of her sons remains a mystery. Yeah, pretty crazy. I mean, here's a picture of them right here. Like a Cub Scout. That's a really pretty decent picture for the time frame. Here, let me check something really quick. Yeah, so another guy got away with it. Military police. How the hell would you put a criminal in the military police anyway? It's ridiculous. God, you're just giving them a way to hide themselves. I was thinking today, that case, the Susan, one we were just talking about the other night. Let's see. Forgot how to say the last name. It's on the 10th, actually. No, that's not it. Yeah, Susan Ledyard. That one's so similar to Cheryl Coker. If you go back and think about it, think about that one. You know, the car's driven away. Cheryl Coker, the car's driven and put into a shopping mall, and you see a guy dressed in black walking away and going back home. Well, that's actually probably what happened in this one. He drives the car, parks it, and then walks back home. And there's just a lot of similarities there, right? You know, he ended up getting married, this guy, again. Susan's husband. Remember the one the other night with the... She was at home texting till 2:47, leaves at 3:02, or the car does. That one's so similar to Cheryl Coker, like all the way through. Surveillance. Anyways, all right, you guys, that's gonna do it for me. So we'll draw for a notebook. So thank you to Cindy Leon, Mag, Gwendolyn B, Allie Cake, Lane S, WNC Granny, Kate, Kathy Friedmaker, Half Rudder, Cindy Leon, Half Rudder, Freebird Forever, The Velvet Army, Sarita, Half Rudder, Sean Beecham, Blind Squirrel, Billy Juliana, Kristen Cure, Susanna Nick Gula Padre, Dan Carr, and Jeff Fiedler. All right, and thank you all very much for, you know, finding, you know, a way to help out the channel. If you hit the like button, awesome. If you become a channel member, that'd be great. All right, just a second. Oh, come on. Well, thanks, Mag. Jeez, I was going to say. Let's see, it was Linda Howe, Being Nancy, Donna Scott, and the Velvet Army, thank you very much, and Allison Sultani, thank you, and Mag says, I started buffering badly after the Galetta story. I'll have to finish later. Please do some spins for notebooks for some freaks. Yeah, all right. Well, here's what we'll do. We'll spin for 3 notebooks. You know, because I mean the thing is LM got it, so I can send him for a little bit cheaper. So I might as well, right? So thank you. All right. And thank you very much, Mag. Very, very kind. All of you. Plus, everybody likes the notebooks, so, you know. Ah, my nose is so plugged up. Man. I could hardly breathe because, you know, I can't breathe through my nose. I'm a mouth breather, everybody. Oh, you knew that about me. You knew it. All right, there you go. The mouth breather. Oh, man. All right, we're going to do 3 of them. You guys ready or what? Oh, look at that. The Velvet Army. You've won a notebook. Yeah, I went outside too many times today. Hey, the Velvet Army, you won another notebook, I think, or a notebook. I don't know. I think you won one before, right? You should make a whole like a bookshelf of them. There we go. Notebook number 2. Oh, it's Billy Juliana. Oh, so we got to spin again. The Velvet Army. I mean, I think the Velvet Army would have like 100 of these things. Just like Mag, you know. All right, here we go. Let me shuffle. Oh, spin again? Okay. So nobody's won a damn thing yet. Okay. Here we go. Free bird forever. All right. Got free bird forever. All right. And here's 2 more. You know what I'll do after this? Allison Sultani. I think what I'll do is I'll make one space for just people that didn't, couldn't play or something. And if it happens to land on that, then I'm not sure how to do it. The first one that didn't play, type something in. I don't know. Maybe not. It's kind of hard to figure that out. Because then it would encourage people not to play, I guess. Oh, it's right here. Haven't you seen these? No. Well, I can't show you now, but... All right, so do we have... How many winners do we have so far? 2, right? WNC Granny. All right. Yeah. All right. So is that it? Are we all good now, or? All right, this is what the notebook looks like. There it is. That's my part 107 thing, but it's got pages, a pen, and probably just use your own pen or whatever. But it's kind of cool. Look, I write something in there. Yeah. So there you go. What happened, Sarita? You all right? You look so sad. All right, you guys. That's going to do it for me tonight. Yeah, I'm gotta do something with my nose here, though. But I appreciate you guys all being here. You should head over to Discord if you want. Don't forget to check out GHI The Missing Network on Facebook. Zozo and a bunch of other wackos, they run that sucker, and I'm just kidding. No, they do a good job over there. A lot of cool posts and everything. So yeah, you gotta go check it out. Yeah, no, she's saying no, don't check out GHI The Missing. Okay. All right, there you go. Well, I was trying to help you out. So. I'm not sure what, what's... I forget it. All right, you guys, we'll see you guys tomorrow. And as I always say, everybody, until next time. Hey, by the way, that was kind of fun last night. doing the, you know, just that little quick little light. You know what I thought would be kind of cool, though, is like in the middle of the summer or whenever, you know, you go out there when it's dark outside and you find like a creepy story and, you know, like the camera's just filming the shed or something, but I'm telling the story off to the side, right? I think that'd be kind of cool. You know, like on a Friday, you know, Friday or Saturday night late. You know, do some weird Art Bell's kind of shit. You know? After the regular show, you know, it's sort of like the show's over and then you do that for an hour. Something like that. Yep. So, all right, you guys. Thank you very much. We'll see you tomorrow. Until next time. Be safe out there. And a 2, and a 3, and a 4, and a 5, and a 6. Wow, I can't even find the... There it is. Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now. And during this whole time, I have not seen one person.
Not one, Gray, not one.
Crime dissector.
I know, I can hear it.
Like rejector. I'm a certified human.
What happened, Gray? Gee.
Gonna get
I think it's
on a stretcher. If you try and play me like an old
to do with the connection to the video.
Crime sector. Here's
hard
my
drive,
nectar.
maybe.
Professor Gray is gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, freak connector, and I'm always gonna be a pop protector, fool deflector, interceptor, and I'm meaner than a spectre with a vector on his pector. With all respect, y'all, just remember I've a temple fucking checker. I have no agenda, I'm no pretender, and I'll serve it to you straight without the blender.
Gosh, Gray,
And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the
I
truth
said,
within
gee.
ya. Yeah, so I'll just get
What's
right
going
back.
on here? Oh, I know what it is. I live in a mobile home.
It's a house.
No, it's not. It's a mobile home.
It's a house.
Oh, screw you.
There's mosquitoes the size of bald eagles in that dadgum swamp.